Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose proud stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the brave.
Yes. Good evening and welcome to Plymouth State University on this special occasion. We are here to honor and celebrate the accomplishments of those completing doctoral, certificate of advanced graduate studies, education specialist, master's, and bachelor's degrees. Congratulations, graduates. It is my pleasure to introduce the members of the platform party. I will ask each of them to stand, as they already are, and as they are introduced and remain standing throughout, please hold your applause until I have recognized everyone on the platform. Jennifer DeMorris, 2023 Distinguished Graduate Teaching Award recipient. Karen Mundagi, graduate class of 2024. David Anderson, recipient of the Granite State Award and tonight's commencement speaker. Donald L. Burks, 15th president of Plymouth State University. I am Nathaniel Bowditch, provost and vice president for academic affairs. Lourdes Aviles, associate provost. Wayne Semprini, class of 1972 and trustee, University System of New Hampshire. And Alberto Ramos, Chief Diversity Officer. And now, Karen Mundogi will share her remarks, please.
Good evening. It's an honor to be up here tonight. The first thing I want to do is just thank my parents for everything they've done. So thank you, Mom and Dad. I wouldn't be able to do this without you. Second, thank you to the faculty and staff for supporting us students through our programs, and thank you to those who made this commencement happen. And now to the graduate class of 2024. We did it. The day we've all been looking forward to is finally here. I remember looking into Plymouth State prior to applying. I, like many students, loved the fact that the school was in the mountains. I remember seeing the saying, "Up here, all paths lead to opportunities," on the Plymouth State website. But to be honest, I didn't think too much of it when I first applied. The only paths I really cared about were all the ski trails nearby anyways. But now, as my time at Plymouth State University comes to an end, I've been looking back on all the different paths that I've taken. The first path is the one that we all took to get to this moment, the academic journey. As I'm sure we've all just experienced over the past few years, earning a graduate degree was not easy. For many of us, this journey consisted of long days of attending lectures and learning in the classroom, and even longer, possibly over-caffeinated nights studying for exams, working on projects, and so much more. And I know for myself at least, I'm so relieved to be done for now. Be proud of yourselves for pursuing higher education and accomplishing your graduate degrees. The second path, and my personal favorite, are the paths that led to friendship. I remember being very nervous transferring to Plymouth State, and I was worried that it was going to be really difficult meeting new people and making new friends. Turns out I'd meet some of my best friends here and create memories that I know my friends and I will cherish forever. If I could go back, I would tell my younger self that everything was going to be okay, and even during the times when things weren't, that my friends here would help me get through it. Which leads me to the last path that I will reflect on, which is the community here at Plymouth State. The few times my sister has visited, she always complains about how there's nothing here. And while this is a small town, there's a sense of community that I feel like I've not been able to experience anywhere else. I'm going to miss the late night walks to the Lucky Dog and the next day walks to the cafe for some coffee. But mainly, I'm gonna miss being around all the people that I know and having a place where I feel like I belong. Everyone here is so friendly and so welcoming, it's going to be a bittersweet goodbye. As we leave here today, I hope all of your paths lead to exciting opportunities. While we may no longer be students of Plymouth State University, may the friendships and memories keep this place special for each and every one of you. Congratulations, class of 2024. Thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome President Donald Burks.
Thank you, Karen. Welcome, graduates. It's great to see all of you. Welcome also friends and family, members of PSU community, PSU, Plymouth alumni, and lastly, the women's lacrosse team who are playing MIT tomorrow in the NCAAs. Let's have a hand for all our graduates. Well done, everyone. As graduate students, you have been like circus performers, often juggling family, research, education, and work. But today it is time to take a moment to relax, celebrate, and take stock of what you have done. Interestingly, I was thinking often about AI and what that means to networks. And in fact, I did my dissertation on it. So I asked one, what it would have to say about commencement. Interestingly, the AI started with us on a sun-kissed campus. Many of you know that it's more like a snow-kissed campus, in my view, and yours probably too. But you get the image, surrounded by echoes of countless dreams and aspirations, past and present, which is true since PSU has been here for over 150 years. It described life as a meandering river and suggested embracing the detours and sprinkling kindness like confetti. It advises to fail gloriously and also as a stepping stone to success, but to remember to pick yourself back up, and that curiosity is the compass that guides us through unexplored territories. To find your tribe, to laugh with, celebrate your victories with, and hold your hand during storms. Then as graduates, to go forth as shining stars. Not bad on the surface, but upon reflection, it sounds a bit hollow. that something was missing. To what purpose was all this? What was the why? When I was a kid, the space program was all the rage, and I wanted desperately to be a part of it, to go into space. By the time I arrived at New Mexico State University and was running the very laboratory that was at the heart of the early space program, the why question haunted me. These were the last days of the original space program, and there were all these scientists, engineers, and technicians with careers and families to worry about. It was then that I found my real why. The key to the laboratory's rebirth was grounded in the support and growth of others. Whatever happened to the lab, what really mattered was the people, and it was out of that success was born. I think you already know this, and it is embodied in the work, research, and contributions that you have and will make to benefit a wide range of populations and create a future for yourself and humankind. You have sacrificed to help others. You have demonstrated commitment to your professions and your studies, and you have built community. As educators, you've created web resources for parents of children experiencing dwarfism, transformed school curricula, and built district-wide ropes courses that help students develop grit, confidence, and sensitivity to their peers, all essential social skills for success in today's interconnected but digitally distanced world. Those in the English Education Master's Program drove sometimes on very snowy roads in the early morning to support literacy instruction in local schools. Literacy is a key to success at all levels, and our libraries are facing many challenges today. Library Media Specialist Master's candidates found themselves at the forefront of a battle for the right to access information and freedom to read. You are keepers and sharers of knowledge, and thereby champions of intellectual freedom and advocates for different voices. We're experiencing challenges in many areas, and weather is one that affects us all. As meteorologists, you research cold air damming, a phenomenon that poses various risks for residents in mountainous regions, and on thunderstorm behavior. These are examples of the quest that scientists in each profession here tonight are on, seeking solutions to existential challenges such as climate, poverty, and disease. Those of you who have trained to be clinical mental health counselors have taken on momentous and complex challenges, helping those suffering from depression, anxiety, and suicide, among other conditions. Your internships help populations across New England and on the campus. As athletic trainers, you have distinguished yourselves individually and in how you comport yourselves as group. Your uniqueness, camaraderie, and compassion is how your program coordinator puts it, resulting in an environment for all to thrive, overcome challenges, and grow. As MBA graduates, you are trained to be the kind of leaders that don't follow the easy road, but to be responsible for the lives and livelihood of others, to prepare the world for a future full of opportunity and hope. MBA interns have contributed to the success of all kinds of businesses, from optimizing a research center supply chain to conceptualizing a new education initiative and partnership. This year's Doctor of Physical Therapy graduates come from across the country and internationally. They've been extraordinarily active in the New Hampshire PT Association and have embraced opportunities to present their work to the public. Rumor has it that many of you are going to stay and build your careers in the Granite State. If so, we are very lucky because I and many others have experienced the impact of your work in the Pro Bono Clinic. We are so proud of all of you. You have a special place in our society as tomorrow's leaders. You are setting the example. You've worked hard on and off campus as teachers, mentors, healers, administrators, and researchers, and you are and will play a critical role in the future of many lives. As you go out, there will be times when our motto, ut prosim, that I may serve, will be tested. You've seen what can happen when the AI's shining stars, when they get clouded by self-interest, pride, and disappointment, in self-serving regimes, in global and national conflicts and hatred, in business, politics, and Washington, D.C. that I may serve is simple yet profound and difficult in application. Practice it, and you will have true success, measured in the impact on the lives around you and your own. Whatever path you choose, go forward with confidence, go forward with action, joy, and purpose, but above all, with a focus on others as you have shown us. The world really needs you, and you are equipped to make a difference. Best wishes from all of us here today and the 40,000 plus strong network of proud Plymouth State alumni to which you have and now belong. Congratulations, class of 2024, graduate and undergraduate candidates. Go Panthers!
It is my privilege to introduce tonight's recipient of the Granite State Award and keynote speaker, Dave Anderson. Excellent. Dave received his Plymouth State Bachelor of Science degree in Natural Science and Environmental Biology in 1985. He began his natural resource career while as an undergraduate intern, he climbed osprey nest trees attempting to retrieve eggshell fragments for the New Hampshire Endangered Species Program. Since 1990, Anderson has worked full-time for the Society of the Protection of New Hampshire Forests. As Senior Director of Education, Anderson is responsible for the design and delivery of a curriculum of statewide conservation education programs to Forest Society members, conservation partners, and the public. Anderson's monthly Forest Journal column appears in the New Hampshire Sunday News. His quarterly Nature's View columns are a regular feature in the Forest Society's quarterly magazine, and he is a co-host of the Something Wild nature features on New Hampshire Public Radio. Anderson received the 2014 Fred E. Bean Award for effective, fair, and balanced communication on issues affecting agriculture and forestry in New Hampshire, and the 2022 President's Award from the New Hampshire Timberland Owners Association in recognition of his outstanding work in media, education, service to community, service to industry, collaboration between organizations. His work for the Forest Society's classes, field trips, presentations, has introduced countless residents and visitors alike to the permanent protection and careful management of New Hampshire's forest, farms, and open spaces. Dave and his family live on a 54-acre certified tree farm with a small fruit tree orchard, pastures, vegetable gardens, and a wood-fired maple sugar house, and heat their home with cordwood harvested from actively managed backyard woodlot. On the farm, Dave lives the Yankee adage, "Experience is such a dear teacher, fools will learn by no other." Please join me in welcoming Dave Anderson to the lectern.
Thank you. Thank you. What up, Panthers? Woo! Congratulations, 2024 graduates. Today is a huge milestone for all of you. With the support of your families and friends, you've worked hard for years to attain your advanced academic degrees. Thank you for this opportunity to join you at this evening's commencement ceremony and to share how my PSU experience helped to shape my perspective and prepared me for the career that followed. In part, well, because I missed my own graduation. In May of '85, I was finishing a spring semester in the Rockies at the National Outdoor Leadership School in Lander, Wyoming. Having satisfied the requirements for a Bachelor in Natural Sciences, Environmental Biology, I transferred the final few credits via the accreditation of the University of Utah to satisfy my remaining phys ed credits. Ski mountaineering, backpacking, whitewater paddling, climbing, and caving. It was either that or target golf here in the field house. When I finally returned to Plymouth in July, I went to the registrar's office and presented my transcript and credentials. The registrar, Patricia Storer, and we all knew each other back then, scrutinized my student ID and then produced an awaiting diploma from a file cabinet. I exited humming pomp and circumstance and resumed packing from my off-campus apartment on Russell Street. All the laundry I'd left behind in the laundromat dryers was stolen. Farewell, Plymouth. Welcome to life after PSU, without a shirt on my back. My wife, Carla, who's joining me here tonight, received her master's in integrated arts at PSU in 2004. Two of our daughters, Emily and Sonia, who are both here tonight, each received bachelor's degrees in 2010 and 2015. We're a family where 4 out of 5 are PSU alumni. So my own PSU history is commingled with that of my wife and my daughters. PSU will never fade. I am nostalgic when I'm in town and on campus. I hope the same will remain true for all of you. This is a remarkable community in a stunning geographic setting. Plymouth led circuitously to a career in forest conservation, education, and public relations for the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests. My understanding of the ecological, economic, and social tapestry of New Hampshire began right here. Some say where your thoughts go, your energy flows. Mindfulness, meaning that you might essentially manifest a future for yourself, for better or for worse. Others suggest that may be cult speak. If it were true, why even go to class, right? I know this, had I not attended PSU, I would likely not have pursued the conservation career and the rural lifestyle that followed. Mark Twain said there's 3 kinds of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. So consider some statistics. New Hampshire is the 2nd most forested state in the United States at 81%. Maine is 84%. Most of the forest, 75%, is privately owned. We are surrounded by private forest land. As Nate said, I live on a 54-acre family tree farm that was acquired tract by tract over the past 25 years. On weekends at home with our family and friends, it is a heartland. It is where we live our core values. We heat with hardwood. My son owns and operates a maple sugaring business in a timber frame sugar house that we cut and milled on site. The evaporator is wood-fired with pine and hemlock. We gather and boil maple sap for endless hours, down to golden maple syrup. On the tongue, it is taking communion. Watery maple sap is prose. Syrup is poetry. A visitor to our sugar house recently had moved to New Hampshire after a career in the Navy. He was a systems analyst, and his questions veered immediately from trees and syrup making to the return on investment. How much did the evaporator cost? How about the tanks and tubing? How much syrup do you make? What do you charge? How do you calculate your hourly wage? Whoa, hourly wage? We don't pay ourselves. In fact, no backyard maple producers do. He purchased a whole pint of syrup, that's 32 tablespoons, and he thanked us for the visit. And as he left, he passed my bearded, flannel-clad buddy outside splitting wood, who overheard the guy say, "These people must be stupid. They can't be making any money." He clearly missed the entire point. It was never about the money. It's about living, not making a living. We grow gardens and flowers and vegetables and berries and grapes, fruit trees. The orchard trees mostly feed the bears and deer and coyotes, but another reliable crop is game camera photos and then wildlife feature stories that I can use on the radio or in the newspaper. Being close to wildlife at any season, I feel my heart beat. I only recently began hunting deer, not always very successfully. To hunt means to search. The original forest bathing meditation, silence and stillness in the forest. Your degree represents a hunt for knowledge and skills that will feed you and your families, likely more reliably than hunting has fed mine. Experience and with social media teaches me that most people share a passion and a fascination with wildlife, much more so than trees. Wildlife are one gateway to understanding the forests as habitat. I have a tiny live white pine seedling exhibit that doesn't really work well to captivate audiences. Stand back! It's eating sunlight. It's making its own food. It's producing oxygen. But they follow my cohort with his eagle on his arm. But the forests sustain us, physically, emotionally, and sometimes spiritually. Forests are integral to our state's identity, culture, and community heritage, particularly in the North Country. The best work I could hope to find is connecting more people to the forested landscape and the not yet faded rural cultures. I say where you live is who you are. Maybe that no longer rings true for the majority of people in an increasingly transient society. Anyone know D. Akers out in Dorchester? Yeah. I met some of the original Baker River Valley Back to the Land hippies in Rumney and Wentworth while I was a freshman in 1981. I'm astonished at the passage of 40 years since I graduated in '85. That may as well be the Pleistocene era to my younger colleagues and the students I've spoken with. Plymouth State positioned and prepared me for an unexpected career that ensued in education, communications, journalism, and public relations, and nonprofit business. None of those were part of my formal academic transcript. Yet my PSU experience has instilled in me a profound sense of place, and that has made all the difference, as Robert Frost penned in his famous poem, The Road Not Taken. And as you must know, Frost lived and taught briefly here at Plymouth as well. So I didn't study business and public relations or journalism or communications. I graduated with a degree in biology, but with an unofficial minor in outing club. The Plymouth magic for me was a blend of people and place, a vibrant, cohesive learning community full of new opportunities. This place offered opportunities to explore and meet people and nurtured those opportunities to make new connections. It's where I learned how cultural history in New Hampshire and natural history interplay, and how politics and culture are born of the physical geography of New Hampshire and stingy plate tectonics. New Hampshire's earliest industries were all water-powered mill economies, which is a natural result of rivers and the railroads which followed. Transportation corridors through a rugged granite state. The White Mountains, the PSU Outing Club, backpacking and winter camping, Stinson Lake, exploring back dirt roads from Rumney to Ellsworth to North Woodstock, climbing the very few established climbing routes at what we called Rattlesnake Cliff, and meeting the first ascent pioneers of what is now renowned sport climbing area, Rumney Rocks. They invented the Great Pumpkin tradition on the tower spires of Rounds Hall. They never wanted to be named for fear of arrest. Widening concentric circles took me to Ashland, Campton, Holderness, Center Harbor, Moultonboro, the Lakes region, the Belknap Range, the Sandwich Range, the entire White Mountain National Forest, Franconia Notch, Crawford Notch, Pinkham Notch, the Pemmy Wilderness area, the Presidential Range, then the North Country in Coos County. All are magical places. And the people here, my PSU classmates and a cohort of young assistant professors who are not yet tenured, and the off-campus local subcultures of hikers, climbers, bluegrass musicians, and back-to-the-land farmers, and salt-of-the-earth sustainability entrepreneurs. Idealistic people wholly committed to living and working their core values. I saw aspiring presidential candidates during the presidential primary. I worked as a waitress at the Woodshed restaurant in Moultonboro just after On Golden Pond came out in the theaters in 1981. Candidate Jesse Jackson came to Plymouth. So did Lamar Alexander of Tennessee. Both wore plaid flannel and hiking boots. I met Alex Ray at his first Common Man restaurant in Ashland. I met conservative former New Hampshire Governor Meldrum Thompson, who drove from Mount Cube Farm in Orford to shop at Volpe's Supermarket right here on Main Street. I had a ponytail. He wondered how I knew who he was. I felt like I was living the Plymouth State equivalent of Forrest Gump. The Science Club hosted David Brower, described as one of the most influential leaders in the modern environmental movement, who played a huge role in the designation of numerous wilderness areas around the country. During dinner, I only asked Brower about his first ascent of the famous Shiprock in New Mexico, much to the dismay of my professor, Richard Freilich. Dr. Freilich took PSU botany students down to Boston in his station wagon with the algae plate, to the Arnold Arboretum for a meeting of the Harvard Botanical Club, world-renowned botanists, drinking beer and discussing tropical plants and psychotropic fungi. My PSU years introduced me to many local movers and shakers, and also more than a few wakers and bakers. All are now likely models of propriety, or at least sobriety. Isn't that the way it so often happens? It can seem accidental, yet it isn't. That's what I try to share with the students when asked to impart advice. It's not a linear progression. It's more like switchbacks on a trail. It is scary not knowing exactly where the trail leads. Hopefully it leads to professional success, and more importantly, to personal fulfillment. I don't use the term trajectory. That's a cliche better used for rocket science or Apollo 13 movies. During my career at the Forest Society, I found new opportunities to pursue journalism and public relations, to listen and learn from others, to research and write natural history features for our full-color quarterly magazine, Forest Notes, and the New Hampshire newspapers, the Concord Monitor and the statewide New Hampshire Sunday News. For 19 years, I've co-hosted Something Wild on New Hampshire Public Radio with my co-host Chris Martin from New Hampshire Audubon. We deliver a Friday morning audio postcard from the woods and fields. We are deeply rooted and intrinsically local, to borrow the NHPR catchphrase. I'm often told, you've got a great face for radio. They hate that joke at the radio station. A little history. The original founders of the Forest Society in 1901 protected the White Mountain National Forest under the provisions of the 1911 Weeks Act, which was federal legislation named for a Massachusetts congressman and banker, John Wingate Weeks, who was a self-proclaimed farm boy from Lancaster, New Hampshire. Today, more than 42 eastern national forests have been established under that Weeks Act law. But back in 1911, it was not about saving scenic beauty or bringing tourism to New Hampshire. The Weeks Act law was written to protect the navigability of navigable rivers. Congressman Weeks built a coalition of business interests and conservation leaders to protect the headwater forests of the White Mountains for economic commerce, for the mills in Manchester and Nashua and Lawrence and Lowell and Haverhill. These rivers, right outside the Pemigewasset, and in the White Mountains, the Ammonoosuc and Saco, the Androscoggin and Merrimack in Connecticut. In New Hampshire, like Montana, a river runs through it. Our now retired state symbol, the Old Man of the Mountain, fell apart exactly 21 years and 1 week ago, May 3rd, 2003. New Hampshire's craggy, we thought, enduring symbol of rock-ribbed granite state are all part of an extraordinary natural endowment of the White Mountains. Forests, rivers, lakes, wildlife, hiking trails that all continue to fuel recreation and tourism economies. Back in the 1980s, or the Pleistocene era if you prefer, the White Mountains, snowboards were not invented, drones and selfies didn't yet exist, and Al Gore hadn't even yet invented the internet. But there was a lunatic fringe living above the Greasy Wheel bike shop on South Main Street, opposite Bob's Quick Check, who pioneered fat tire bikes with their promotion of the first Fat Chance mountain bikes in the Northeast. Some people, especially up around North Conway, are tempted to imagine New Hampshire as a little Colorado of the Northeast. Maybe that's Vermont. You need to set aside a whole lot of politics and overlook our unique fashion sense. We were lumber before Metro. We were dyed-in-the-wool, woods-wise, bearded, throwing axes for fun before it was cool. No, we're not Colorado. We're not even an inverted version of Vermont. That comparison is better left to geographers and sociologists, and to geologists who can blame plate tectonics for creating distinctly regional differences in New England. Poets do a better job. Jane Kenyon, Donald Hall, Maxine Kumin. In Vermont, Noel Parent, Hayden Carruth, and David Budbill. The poets are now the Dead Poets Society. Yankee Magazine executive editor Rob Trowbridge asked Vermont poet and essayist and Dartmouth College English professor Ned Perrin, the author of First Person Rural, to pen a kindly list of reasons why I love New Hampshire from the Vermont perspective. The editor then asked New Hampshire's own national poet laureate, Donald Hall, without telling him why, for the companion essay, Why I Hate Vermont. New Hampshire is described as flinty, curmudgeonly, and contrarian. I'm not sure that's still true. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. My first lessons in New Hampshire history and the culture came while living and studying at PSU. In our fall foliage splendor, New Hampshire is a world-renowned destination. Why does New Hampshire continue to attract admirers from afar? Are the forest, mountains, and lakes a mere backdrop to our quaint New England villages? Is it good highways and tax-free shopping, fine dining and lodging? It certainly isn't proximity to home, except for those of us who already live here. Imagine the downtown Boston billboard. You've seen it. If you lived here, you'd be home by now, right here at exit 25 off of I-93. I'm sure many of you have experienced showing visitors, your family or friends from elsewhere, the scenic White Mountains and Lakes region, and perhaps you've been surprised at their questions or the view through visitors' eyes. Only then do we realize how nonchalant we become about our great good fortune to live here. Consider that privilege. The visitors likely don't know the story of how our predecessors had worked intentionally under citizen leadership in private organizations and working with government agencies to protect and care for our most cherished and important scenic natural resources. Tourists can't take the vibrant autumn colors with them when they make like a tree and leaf. Yet they expect to find the view undiminished upon their return. We must continue to prioritize the protection of the natural endowment from the land use changes that will diminish the remaining scenic rural character of New Hampshire and the characters who live here. This landscape defines us as a people. To paraphrase Mark Twain, contrasting New England with the South, in the South, people shape the land. In New England, the land shapes its people. Plymouth State University is the gateway to the White Mountains, literally and figuratively. Not just this place, but the experience of a place where people and place remain inextricably linked. I hope something of granite remains resilient and true for all of you as you graduate and continue your own journeys from today, shaping and protecting the future of the real New Hampshire advantage, our history and our natural environment, leading and teaching future generations of Granite Staters, honoring and continuing the traditions of your Plymouth State experience and education. The journey began right here on this campus in this extraordinary academic community and natural setting. You are the future leadership of New Hampshire. You go, Panthers. Represent. Thank you for the Granite State Award.
President Burks and distinguished guests, it is my honor and privilege to present the Granite State Award, which honors those who have made exceptional contributions to the state of New Hampshire and its citizens, to David Anderson.
Thank you.
Excellent, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right. At this time, I will ask the candidates receiving the Doctor of Education and Doctor of Physical Therapy degrees to rise and remain standing. Candidates receiving the Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies and Education Specialist degrees, please rise. Candidates receiving master's and bachelor's degrees, please rise. President Burks, I have the honor today to present those who have completed the requirements for the Doctor of Education, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies, Education Specialist, Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of Education, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science, and are hereby recommended by the faculty of Plymouth State University to receive their degrees.
Thank you, Provost. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University System of New Hampshire, I confer on you the Doctor of Education, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies, Education Specialist, Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Masters of Education, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science with all rights, honors, and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Degree candidates, you may be seated until instructed by the ushers to approach the platform to receive your degree.
Please hold your applause until all of the graduates have been recognized. Kathleen Riley. Paula Brault. Erica Brazzi. Sabrina Lynn Brown. Amy Gall. Stephen Mino. Sean Robinson. Patrick Liam Bambrick. Dustin Race Allison. Brandon Vincenzo Barillero. Marla Suzanne Batson. Erica Page Bonnie Racine. Caitlin Brown. Madison Marjorie Brown. Victoria Athena Cerulli. Erin Patricia Daly. Abigail Dickinson. Jared Donovan Esnos. Taisha Shaikima Fenwick. Kyra Goucher. Brandon Green. Dwayne Archer Hersom. Dallas Lahash. Sarah Mauser. Andrew Joseph Plesh. Kimberly May Rubenstein. Caitlin Nicole Schultes. Jamie Marie Samard. Reese Sapala. Aspen Danielle Verhasselt. Rachel Ann Victory. Allison Leslie Tugel Friendgray. John Robert Bridle. Storm Elizabeth Metters. Brett Jacob Billings. Eliza Van Hook Colburn. Cassandra Louise Meany. Carrie Susi. Nicholas Patrick Blake. Dylan Ann Shea O'Leary. Lisa Marie Searles. Karen Elizabeth Mandagi. Carl Kenley Jean-Baptiste. Isaac Haywood Willison. Natalie K. Vernon. David Morin. Stephen Gary Sessler. Nicholas Atanas Thompson. Dylan White. Casey Bell. Owen Billen. Nicholas Martin Carter. Caroline Rose Davenport. Gracie Ducker. Marin Rebecca Fowler. Catherine O'Brien Glynn. Megan Marshall. Tyler Bryce O'Mara. Faith Ellen Poirier. Cooper Daniel Whitehouse. Hannah Volmer. James Carroll. Michaela B. Damon. Kenneth David Haberland. Jamie Evelyn Hazel. Kaylee Marie Hussey. Elizabeth Sarah Hutchins. Thomas Peter Kelly. Dara Lily McQueenie. Kaylee Morgan Michaels. Stephanie Catherine Thomas. Amy Uwasa. Alyssa Wilcox. Stephanie Gray LeMay. Kelsey Suzanne Hubbard. Kristen Nero. Zoe Ching Sane. Imania India Summer Barnhill. Gordon James Boddington. Cameron John Conley. Laura Michelle Doyley. Samuel Erb. Francesca Grace Floramo. Jair Hatcher. Nicholas Healy. Athena Arhantula Peterson. Eleni Peterson. Alexander Rives. Stephen Rudin. David Salazar. Joseph Michael Sargent. Georgie Siklari. Paul Robert Stanley. Reed Stope. Sarah Ingram Morgan. Blair Elizabeth Wortham. Christina Bartz. Michelle Fitzgerald Galvin. Elizabeth Sousa. Mira Cotton. Emily Rachel Picard. Abigail Elena McGee. Caitlin Noel Kozad. Jordan Lee Durand. Jacqueline Cosette Hallisey. Tara Lynn John. Nicole Rose Liedberg. Caitlin Joy Walsh. Amber Marie Roshan. Tess Fairhurst. Jade Taylor Gizzy. Olivia Rose Panzini. Samantha Parker. Lindsay Rosetta Prevost. Hannah Maureen Topolowski. Emily Wallace. Amanda Lee Auditori. Megan Riley Gaspa. Taryn Elizabeth O'Brien. Laura Rose Sexton. Amelia Logan Thomas. Please join us in another round of applause for all of our graduates.
Let's see. I got to get to my page here. At this time, I would like to ask the graduates to move their tassel to the left side of their cap, signifying the completion of their degree. Woo. This concludes this evening's ceremony. Graduates are asked to remain in their rows until the platform party is passed and your row is released by the ushers. Thank you, and again, huge congratulations.